Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalaya Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shangaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutrabhashya Kritav Vande Bhagavantav Punah Punah. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vishabhai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Hari Om. Shankaracharya continues with his discussion about Atma, the topic that was started in verse 124. And this will continue up to verse 136. In the last class, we saw Yo Vijanati Sakalam Jagrat Swapna Sushuptishu Buddhi Tadvritti Sadbhavam Abhavam Aham Iti Ayam. What is this Atma? Atma is that which illumines all the three states of experience. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, waking, dream, and deep sleep. All three states of experience, it illumines. It also illumines Buddhi, Buddhi Vritti, and also the absence of all of those. So it illumines the presence as well as the absence. In all three states, this consciousness shines. It illumines as I, as aham, aham, aham. Then that Atma was also defined as Yaf pashyati swayam sarvam. Yam na pashyati kasyan. Yaschetayati buddhyadi na tadyam chetayati ayam. This Atma is that which illumines everything. And it does so by itself. It illumines everything. It doesn't need any other help. By itself, it illumines. At the same time, it is not illumined by anything else. So none of the other entities has the ability to illumine Atma. That consciousness, Atma Chaitanyam, is all pervading. That was pointed out. Yena Vishwamidam Vyaptam. Yam na vyapnoti kinchana. Abharupam idam sarvam. Yam bhantam anubatyayam. That is that Atma. That is consciousness. It pervades the entire world. It pervades everything, but nothing can pervade consciousness. Is that the sentient Atma pervades the insentient, inert world, universe, creation. What is the proof for the consciousness pervading the world? The proof is that the world is known by me, is the proof for the pervasiveness of consciousness. Now, Vedanta says, in the same way, whenever I am conscious of the world, whenever I experience the world, there are two things we experience. One is the non-self-shining world, the inert world, and the self-shining consciousness. We experience both of them together. Here, shining means evident. I am experiencing simultaneously both the non-self-evident world of objects, and the self-evident consciousness. This Atma reveals itself directly, shines independently, and then illumines the rest of the world. So how does Atma illumine the Anatma? That's, let us read verse 129. Yasya sannidhi matrena dehendriya manodhiya विषयेषु स्वकीयेषु वर्तन्ते प्रेरिता इव यस्य सन्निधिमात्रेण देहेन्द्रियमनोधियः विषयेषु स्वकीयेषु वर्तन्ते प्रेरिता इव. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya, he continues talking about the nature of Atma. And he continues to show the glory of Atma. Not only does the Atma makes every inert object, it makes them known. Atma also makes them active. So, Atma not only makes the body-mind complex, our body, our mind, etc., 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 they are, as we have seen repeatedly, they are all inert by nature. Okay, they are all product of Maya, which is inert. So, the Karanam is inert, so Karya is also inert. So body, mind, etc., by themselves, they're all born from the elements. So they are inert. But then your body is active. Your mind is active. what makes them active? Atma is the one that makes them active. You not only see your body, you not only see the functions of the mind, they are all known, the inert things get to be known, and then they are made active also. Solved by Atma. We often give, to illustrate, talking about Atma, we give the example of light. We use the word illumine and all that, just like a light illumines objects. So we quite often use that. The light pervades inert objects, all right. Let us say there's a book on the table. If the room is dark, you won't see the table or the book on it, etc. But when you turn on the light falls on it, pervades the book, and you get to see the book. So in the presence of light, an inert object like book is known. But then that light does not make the book active. And if you're reading that book, okay, let's say the book is open and you're reading. You're reading that in the light, all right. When you come to the end of the page, the book does not turn the page over by itself. The light is there, okay, but it doesn't make the book active. You have to turn the page if you want to read the next page. But Atma is not like that. It shows the body, it shows the mind. It also makes them active. This is how Atma differs. So even though these examples are given, the examples have some limitation. Atma does two jobs. It illumines, it also activates. The inert mind becomes sentient. Your mind is active, alive. And that is because of the Atma. The inert mind becomes active. The mind becomes alive, is able to entertain thoughts. And through the thoughts, mind is able to experience the whole world. You experience everything through the mind. In fact, the entire transaction of life is done by the mind alone. It is the mind. The autobiography of a person is nothing but a series of activities of the mind, one after the other. And the consequent sukha dukkha anubhava, experience of joy, sorrow, all of them through the mind. Take away the mind, there's no life. There is no individual. There won't be a family, there won't be education, there won't be any traveling here and there. With the mind, we do all kinds of things. All those things are done by the mind principle alone. The mind that has been enlivened, illumined, and also activated by Atma. It's the live mind which is called the ego. It's a live mind which is called the karta, a doer. It's a live mind which is called the bhokta, experiencer of sukha dukkha. It's a live mind which is called the pramata, the knower. It's a live mind which is called the jivatma. It's a live mind that travels from one world to another, from loka to loka. All this happens. All these things happen because of the touch of consciousness. Take away the consciousness, the mind will be like a table on which you have your laptop. That's it. And what biography does a table have? The difference between an inert object and the mind is because of this extra principle, which we call consciousness. Touch of consciousness makes a world of difference. Therefore, he says, Yasya sannidhi matrena, by the mere presence. Sannidhi means presence. By whose presence? Matrena, that alone. With the mere presence of the all-pervading Atma, vartante deha indriya manodiyah. All these inert organs, deha, body, indriya, senses, manaha, mind, dhiya, buddhi. All of them, body, sense organs, mind, intellect, all of them, vartante, they remain active. They become energized. By themselves, all this, body, sense organs, mind, intellect, they're all inert. But now with the touch of consciousness, they become active. Punya karma, papa karma, and a mixture of those two, mishra karma, all these activities are done by the organs. Organs remain active. Swakiyeshu vishayeshu, in their respective field of activity. Each organ, they are meant to function in one field of activity, respective field. For example, the eye is a jnanendriya, organ of perception. And what can it perceive? The only field it can operate, forms and colors. The eye cannot hear any sound. Ears can hear only sound, it doesn't see the color. Like that, every organ. The mind, it works in the field of emotions, feelings. Intellect, it can think, determine, decide. Like that, each organ operates in its respective field. Just like electricity is there. Electricity pervades various gadgets. The same electricity flows through all those electrical equipment. Even though electricity blesses those gadgets, each one has its own function. An electric bulb gives out light. The radio brings out the sound. It has only the audio capacity. It doesn't have the video capacity. If you want that, a different equipment. Television has both. The electric stove, totally different function. Heat can cook with an electric stove. The air conditioner can only cool. So each piece of equipment can do one thing. It's not because of electricity. The same electricity is flowing through all those. Those differences are caused by the very nature of that equipment. That's all. Similarly, we have the pancha jnanendriyani, 5 organs of perceptions. The eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. And then we have pancha karmendriyani, 5 organs of action. Hands, legs, so on and so forth. And then chatvari antakaranani, the 4 functional inner instruments. Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. Mind, intellect, memory, and ego. All that. Hmm. But all these organs can do only one function. Similarly, the human body can only walk, but it cannot fly. The body is there. We can walk, we have legs, we can walk, but we cannot fly like a bird. The limitation is not in the consciousness. Atma is enlivening the human body as well as the bird. It blesses both of them. All those limitations are in the equipment, not in Atma. So Bhashyakara writes, Swakiyeshu Vishayeshu, every organ functions in its own field. How? Prerita iva. As though, iva, as though, as if. As though Atma Chaitanyam is goading them into activity. This whipping, goading, persuading, pushing, as though Atma is pushing them into activity. So here the most important point to be noted is, Shankaracharya says, as though Atma persuades them. The expression as though, as if, is very important. It is not that Atma is willfully forcing them into activity. If Atma willfully forces them into activity, and if Atma chooses the activity, then immediately people are waiting. They're waiting just for that, to blame Atma for all their problems. Once I say Atma does this, then they will say, a criminal has got a criminal thought because it's the Atma which is injecting the criminal thought into his mind. So Bhagavan says, Atma does not have a will, does not have a choice, does not have a plan or design for you. It appears as if Atma is activating. So the word iva, as though, as if, very important. If Atma is only as though activating, then what's the real fact? The real fact is sannidhi matrena. Atma is just ease. And in its presence, every inert object gets activated according to its capacity. According to for which it was designed. Whatever it is designed for, that object, that organ will act. Exactly like the sun. The sun doesn't say in the morning, hey, get up, wake up, it's morning, gotta get up and go to work. Sun doesn't say anything like that. Your mom might say, you sleepyhead, you get up. The sun is already up, gotta go to school. But the sun doesn't say that. The sun just is. And the earth is rotating. It's also going around the sun. When the earth rotates, naturally one part of the earth, it gets exposed to the sun. And the daylight starts, goes through. And 12 hours later, the sun sets as if it's not the sun setting. The rotation of the earth has taken that part of the earth, away from the sun. So the sun is. And as it revolves around the sun, we get the 4 seasons. All that is there. But sun, it's just there. In its presence, all these planets, the earth does its job. And the earthly people, we also go about doing our work. So we need to understand this point very clearly. Very clearly we should understand. Otherwise, Atma will become Karta. Atma will become a doer and it will accrue papam and punyam. That's why Bhagavan says, Sri Krishna says in the Gita, Nadatye kasyachit papam na chaiva sukritam vibhu ajnanena avritam jnanam tena muyyanti jantavah. Atma does not do any punyam or does no papam. Atma does not persuade a person to sinful acts or to meritorious deeds. No, nothing like that. So that's what is said here as prerita iva, as if goading people, motivating people. Continuing, verse 130. Ahankaradidehanta, ahankaradidehanta, Vishayascha sukhadayah, Vishayascha sukhadayah, Vedyante gatavad ena, Vedyante gatavad ena, Nityabodhaswarupina, Nityabodhaswarupina, Ahankaradidehanta, Vishayascha sukhadayah, Vedyante ghatavad ena, Nityabodhaswarupina. So in the last verse, it was said that in the presence of Atma, all organs function in their respective field. Just as the examples, the presence of electricity, all the electrical equipment are working. But all these examples, they can create some problems also. I give the electricity example. Shankaracharya has given the example of the sun or gives the example of a magnet. These are standard examples. Surya and Ayaskanta. Ayaskanta means magnet, that which attracts iron. Ayaskanta. These are common examples. In the presence of magnet, iron filings are drawn towards that. It's not that the magnet invites all the iron filings, come, come. The magnet is, and in its presence, the iron filings naturally get attracted to it. Similarly, the sun is. So when we give examples like this, there will be a problem. If I say that Atma is like a magnet or like the sun, you will begin to look for that Atma. Where is that Atma? It is activating the body, activating the mind. There, the examples break down. In the examples, everything that is talked about is an object which is either outside the body or inside the body. But Atma is neither outside the body nor inside the body. And where is that Atma? That Atma is me, myself. Therefore, I should not look for Atma in whose presence everything is active. Don't look for Atma that way. But I should own up to the fact by saying, I am that Atma in whose presence the mind is functioning. So wherever And whenever you say Atma, you should practice to say me and my. In my presence, the body acts. In my presence, the sense organs are acting. In my presence, the mind is able to think. I am that Atma. So in all these descriptions, we use the third person. Atma is this, Atma does this, etc., etc. Mm-hmm. But eventually, you should get used to the idea, make that third person into first person. I am the one. I am the one goading all these inert things to be alive. I am that Atma. Once I say that I am that Atma, in whose presence all these things act, the next question is, I'm not able to see. In my presence, body acts, the mind acts, intellect acts. Then who am I? I want to see myself. I want to see. Therefore, Shankaracharya says, you will never see yourself. You will never see yourself. And I've given this example many, many times. It's like a camera taking the picture of every person. But the camera never comes in the picture. In the old days, we used to say, instead of camera, we used to say the photographer. Photographer takes all the pictures, but the photographer is never in the picture. Yeah. With these cell phones coming in and selfies possible, we cannot give that example. The photographer is also in the picture. So we have to just keep. The camera will never come into the picture. Every picture is there. When you look at the photo, you know that some camera should have been there which took the picture. Similarly, I am aware of the body. The awareness camera has to be there. I am aware of the mind. So the awareness camera is there. I am aware of the mind. Therefore, the awareness camera is there. I'm aware of the absence of thoughts. So the awareness camera is there also. That awareness camera can never be pictured. You cannot see that. But existence can never be doubted. The awareness is the camera. When you say do not question about them, the make of the camera, the lens, and how will it be, etc., etc. Any example you give, there is some danger. You extend the example beyond its limits, you will get confused. Therefore, Shankaracharya says, Vedyante. Everything is experience, ghatavat, like a part, because of consciousness. Because of consciousness alone, everything gets to be experienced. Vedyante means experience, picture, known. Everything gets to be known, just like you see a part, experience a part. Camera takes all pictures, the camera is never pictured. Similarly, awareness, because of the awareness, all the experience is going on, but awareness itself is never experienced as an object. What are the things experienced by Atma? It is everything. Ahankaradi dehanta vishayascha. We start with vishayaha. Vishaya, objects. All external objects. All the objects in the world outside, you experience. So Atma It is through the Atma we experience everything. So the entire world is pictured, seen. Although object by object, countless of them, but we usually put them together. They are all experienced as what? Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Sound, touch, form and color, taste, and smell. So these are the five sense objects. Not only the world is pictured by consciousness, ahankaradi dehanta, subjectively. The world outside, external, internal, subjectively, the panchakoshas are pictured by consciousness. Panchakoshas are annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya, and anandamaya. We've seen them before. We will see in detail later also. Everything beginning from ahankara. Ahankara is vijnanamaya kosha. Up to deha, annamaya, all koshas. Here, you must note that anandamaya kosha is not mentioned. This point came up before also, because anandamaya kosha means everything is resolved. That's why there is no question of experience. That should be understood. Ahankaradi, ahankara, this the vijnanamaya kosha. Ahankarta, that is in the buddhi. So ahankara, starting from ahankara and ending with deha. We usually start with body, then pranas, mind, etc., and go. He has said the reverse order, that's all. Ahankaradi, dehanta. So don't include Anandamaya kosha. Thus the body, the mind complex is pictured. That is anatma number one. The world is also experienced. That is anatma number two. Body mind complex is inert. The world is also inert. Consciousness alone illumines both the anatmas. We saw before that consciousness not only illumines them, it also activates them. All that anatma, as the word implies, it is anatma, it is inert, but they seem to come alive. It's because of consciousness. Consciousness activates them, and because of that activation, the two anatmas interact. And that interaction is called life. Body-mind complex, which is inert, which now got activated, it is interacting with the objects of the world, external objects. And that's what we call life. This interaction is illumined by Atma, and it takes place because of the presence of Atma. Sannidhi matrena, in the presence of Atma alone, all these things are happening. The consciousness illumines body-mind complex as well as the world and makes them interact. And Sukhadaya goes through varieties of experience like Sukha, etc. Sukha, Dukkha. All that happen because of this interaction. So these experiences, those interactions are anatma number three. They are also anatma. Sukha, Dukkha, combination, mishram of the two. Joy, sorrow, and a mixture of joy and sorrow. Similarly, other things, raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, likes, dislikes, desire, anger, greed, envy, all of them. They are all anatma number three. This also is illumined by experience, by something other than all these three, by the consciousness, which is not involved in this game at all. We have seen in the Gita also. In fact, we just saw this verse in the last Gita class. Indriyasya indriyarte ragadveshu ragadveshau vyavastitau. The senses are interacting with the sense objects. And there are all these experiences. But naiva kinchit karomi iti. We will see that in the 5th chapter. Naiva kinchit karomi. Atma doesn't do anything. So Vedyante, all these are illumined by consciousness, which is Nitya Bodha Swarupina, of the nature of eternal awareness. Nitya Bodha, eternal awareness. This is important. In the Jagrata Avastha, in the waking state, there is an interaction between Anatma and Anatma. And Sukha Dukkha Anubhava, the experience of joy and sorrow, all that is there in the waking state. Swapna Avastha also, dream also, there is interaction between Anatma and Anatma. But of course, of a different order of reality. That is Pratibadika Satta there. There are mental projections, but the dreamer is experiencing all that. Whereas, when we come to Sushupti, deep sleep, there is no interaction between Anatma and Anatma. Because mind is not functioning, the bodies are not functioning, sense organs are not functioning. There are no experiences. So the whole drama is switched off. There's no play. Nothing is going on. Now the question comes, during Jagrata Avastha, waking state, the consciousness illumines. During Swapna Avastha, consciousness illumines. During Sushupti, deep sleep, everything is folded. Then what about this consciousness? Is it switched off? What do we do? See, in the classroom, let us say we are meeting in person. So the class is going on, the lights are on, we are interacting. Okay, the class is over. We go out. We turn off the light. Came over. Lights are turned off. Is it like that? Consciousness light is switched off in Sushupti, in deep sleep? No. Consciousness does not have a switch to turn it off. Therefore, there is no question of on and off switch. So closing down and opening are only for the body, only for the mind, only for the intellect, only for the world. Only anatma things can be turned on and turned off. Therefore, when you say, I wake up in the morning, who is waking up? What is waking up? Not consciousness. Poor consciousness doesn't go to sleep. So it never wakes up also. It was the mind that got folded during sleep. It's a mind that opens up upon waking up. Consciousness is ever present. So this is the significance of the word nityam. Nitya bodha swarupina. Consciousness is never switched off, is ever present. Even Bhagavan cannot switch off consciousness. Because the very nature of consciousness is nitya bodha swarupina. Swarupina. All things, these things are known. Grammatically, the sentence is incomplete. Therefore, we have to complete the sentence by adding the word saha atma. That is the atma. So, yena vedyante saha atma, that by which everything is known, that alone is atma. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ.